Take two. What's up with you? How you doing? It's good to see you again, even though I can't see you with my eyes. I just see you with the knowledge of you watching it. Anyway, I made a download. Here, I already started writing on this one from take one, but my phone kept on falling over. Oh, I see my pen. All right. Anyway, I made a download, a free download. You can get it. You can check it out from my website. The link's going to be somewhere. Post it, probably in the description, or maybe even a comment too. Maybe both. This is a and, not or. Anyway, we got the modes. Do you know the modes? Node modes? Hey, that sounds like the deck of cards. This is brought to you here by this deck of cards that I made. It's a set of deck of cards with dice as well. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. But anyway, I'll keep talking. Look, I made a handy handout. Oh, I have so many copies of it. Oh, it's because there's so many different applications of how we can use it. We can show you all sorts of cool things. For instance, I could show you that this thing over here is like the arrangement of all the modes. Yes, there's 7 of them. Excuse me. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. And each one of these is going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the octave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the octave. They all have 7 notes plus the octave. Represented. That's why this first note lines up all the way, and this last note lines up all the way. All the other ones, they kind of take turns either lining up or not lining up. We can take a look at that. In fact, it serves for an analysis. It'll be like, hey, what's different from this and what's different? I already started running on this one from my last take, but my phone camera kept on falling off because I tried putting it here and then also writing. Also writing on this at the same time, and my phone kept on falling over, so I said, you know what, let's just replace it. Not even worry about it. So I'll show you this. Here it is. The modes. I started writing on it. I started talking about the major scale. I was like, this is the sound of the major scale that we all know from music. We all know that somehow. Deep in our bones, deep in our ancestral memory. That's just the sound of a major scale. That's the sound of learning music. That's the sound of practicing music and understanding music. Well, you probably know about whole steps and half steps. If not, I'll explain it. Whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. And that's pretty accurate. In fact, I would even say it's true. Everything that I said was true. This is a whole step, and another whole step, and a half step, and another whole step, and another whole step, and another whole step, and a half step. And over here, as you can see, I'm going to, kind of pick up where I left off. I said, hey, look at this. We got that right here. There's your whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. It's so nice to be able to point at an image and then use it to talk about music. Where have I heard of that before, where you can kind of point at an image and then use it to, oh, that's right, standard notation. Oh, that's right, it's just an image that's representing sound. It's a visual analog. Well, wouldn't it help if we just, kept on using visual analogs, but in a more stripped down manner so that we can focus on one specific aspect of music, not like three or so simultaneously. Anyway, let's get back to talking about this handy handout. It's a handy handout. You can take it, you can print out as many copies as you want and use it for a variety of different ways. Let me show you a few. So continuing before, I said, hey, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. 3 and 4 are a half step. 7 and 1 are a half step. Cool. Then I said, what if I start all of these other modes from the note name 1? Well, then that gives us a worksheet. And I could be like, hey, what's the difference? Well, I can see this is the same, that's the same, that's the same. That is not the same. The 4 is different in this mystery scale. Oh, it's not a mystery anymore. I'm going to tell you that that's the Lydian scale. It's the Lydian, it's not a mystery. So then there's the Lydian, and the Lydian is just only different from this major scale just by this one note that we would call 4 or sharp 4. Pretty neat. We could take it a step further and say, hey, what's this over here? I see right over here. I see uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis. But wait a minute, that 7 doesn't look like it lines up with the other 7. It's true. It doesn't. So I'm going to call that a flat 7. And that's going to feel like a completely different mode. As opposed to, or as opposed to the other one, some modes all starting on the same first note. It's helpful to think about them as just starting on a first note, but as we'll see, that's not the only way to use these. Hey, let me take another one of these and dirty it up a bit. So here I'll start on the same spot. I'll be like, here's my 1, there's my 2, there's my 3, there's my 4, there's my 5, there's my 6, there's my 7, there's my 1. There's also the other analysis of saying like, oh, wait a minute, what if since these are modes, and modes are all pretty much the exact same scale, but just starting on different notes, giving you a completely different perspective, what are those other notes that we could start on? Well, I can start right here on this first note, and I could say, hey, the first note of here is actually, technically, let's see if we can solve this. Do you know what it is? If it's the Lydian scale, do you know what degree the Lydian scale starts on? It starts on the 4. So I can follow the same half-step, whole-step pattern between these numbers written right here in the major scale, the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. I am in a music lesson. I must now be learning music. We must now be learning music if we hear the sound of that major scale, right? I'll take that and I'll say, oh, you know what? This is the 4. Quattro. I should be like quattro. And then we go to cinco. Then we go to seis, then siete, seis, siete, and then we'll go to the 1, and then I'll go to the 2, and I'll go to the 3, and I'll go to the 4. Bam, that looks consistent. I see a half step between 7 and 1 and 3 and 4, just like I do over here. I see a half step between 7 and 1 and 3 and 4, right over there. Interesting. And then I could take it a step further and be like, hey, what would this one be over here? Well, could be a puzzle, but I'll give you the answer. I'll give you the answer right now. I'm just that generous. I'm giving away free downloads that you can just use for a musical understanding. Yeah, we want to participate in the gift economy here. That's how we're going to get out of this, whatever it is. So yeah, 5, 6, 7. Come on, pen. Maybe I should do it here. And then uno, you know. And then we have a 2, and a 3, and a 4, and a 5. And that's pretty cool. I'd say that works. And hey, so far I just did the 3 major modes on this sheet and the 3 different major modes, and they line up. And you could even hold them up to the light and be like, oh, of course they're going to line up. They're the same printout. But hey, you can also observe the rotational symmetry. Let me turn this front one upside down. And then I'll hold it up to the light and say like, you know what? All of those dots still line up 100%. Isn't that neat? I think it is. I think that's pretty neat, that this visual arrangement of the modes of the major scale has 180-degree rotational symmetry. Sorry, I'm holding it in front of I'll hold it this way. It has 180-degree rotational symmetry. That's pretty elegant right there, and it's just built into this sound that you have heard your whole life. Yeah, you've heard that your whole life, haven't you? Or maybe you're hearing it now, and this is just part of your life. But wait, what's more is I don't have to use numbers or the other relative note naming system known as like solfege, where I can say like do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, te, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, te, do, for all of the different ones if I want to change them. And I can use, like, say the letters, like say I'm in the key of C, and I want to be like, hey, I'm in the key of C major. I can start this and be like, hey, you know, I'm in the key of C major. What is this if I start on C? Then this would be C, and then this would be D, and then this would be E, and then this would be F, and then this would be G, and this would be A, and then this would be B, and this would be C again. And then that would close the gap. Oh, yeah, and I see that this is consistent because I see that there's an E and F, and there's a B and C. And, yeah, there's a half step, and there's another half step. Pretty neat. And then maybe I want to start on this note over here and say that, oh, this is going to be a C. And then I could write it out so that now I have this mixolydian, this C mixolydian. I could spell it like it's a C mixolydian. Or maybe I want to be consistent and say, keep all of these modes in the same key. So then, you know what, let's make that a G. All right, cool. So now this is G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. The half steps are still consistent with where the half steps are. It must be the same key, but starting on a different note, like the modes really are anyway. Very cool. But wait a minute. What's more is that I could be completely random here, and I could say, you know what? Let's get into the full expansion pack where, you know what? I'm just going to randomly point to a note, closing my eyes, and I'm going to whoop. Oh, it's in between the notes. I'll round down. Yeah, why not? All right, so now this is going to be my 1. That's my new 1. I just randomly chose this spot on the page. Very fun. I'm going to say, oh, I can see what it's turning into already, because that's got to be a 2, that's got to be a flat 3. This has got to be a 4, and then this is going to be a 5, which means this is also going to be a 5 over there. It's going to be a 5. That's going to be a 6, and that means this is going to be a flat 7. Interesting. Now I think we've turned this into the expansion pack of the Dorian mode, because I can take this spelling and be like, all right, where's the Dorian for, oh, right here. This would be the Dorian right here. I can say, hey, there's my 1, there's my 2, there's my flat 3, there's my 4, there's my 5, there's my 6, there's my 7, which is flat, and there's my 1. And then, hey, let's keep it moving, right? Why not? I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is where that next 1 is going to be. Yep, okay, you can see it already. There's the 1, there's the flat 7, there's the 6, there's the 5, there's the 4, there's the 4 again up top, there's the flat 3, and there's the 2. Everything is lining up with the half steps. How cool is that? I think that's pretty cool. Wait a minute, I'm not done. I'm not done. If I'm not mistaken, I think that this is going to be the 1. If we're taking a look at this Dorian expansion pack, and I say, there's my 1, this must be a flat 7. This must be a flat 7. This must be a 2. This must be a flat 3. I'm going to jump around. This must be a 6. This must be a 4. And this must be a 5. Interesting. You could do this with how many modes? All of them. You could do that with all of the modes. And you could do it not just, oh my goodness. You could do that with not just all of the modes, but you can do it with all of the absolute pitch names, like all of the letters from the musical alphabet. And you can do it in all 12 keys. Oh, and you could check your work with one of these, which is a different free download that you can get if you want. There's another video. I guess I should link to that as well. But anyway, happy calculating. It's just good to kind of think about all the different ways that dots connect. And, you know, once you connect all the dots, then you're going to have a lot of connected dots. And is there any bad musical information? Me and Charlie Hunter don't think so. That's right. Charlie Hunter. That guy's really cool. Check out his music. But also check out the things that I got, too. I got some music, too, I guess, somewhere. Yeah, I think I do. Anyway, yeah, oh, and also, if you don't mind, if you've watched this whole video all the way through, hit a like and subscribe and leave a comment or something. All right, cool. Peace out. Take care. Bye.